Alright, so by the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to have a website that looks just like this. So if you go over, you can go to this 40 template website. You can literally just click around, figure out which one you want to download, clone, and go from there. So yeah, as you can see, I'm gonna download one that's called Solid off of that website that I just mentioned. You can check it out below. And from there, what we can do is we can open up index.html. And there we have it. So you can have you in your browser. You can't share that link with anybody else though, because it's really just downloaded on your computer. So that link is really just the file path that you would use from Finder to find out where it is. So within your downloads, you can see in the URL at the top, and we're within Solid, and then we have index.html opened up. The next, what we're going to want to do is we're going to upload it and host it somewhere. So I'd recommend creating a Google Firebase account. And what you're going to do is you're going to add a project and you're going to enter a project name. For me, I'm just going to stay simple for this and just call it test project 2. Click continue. Then I'm going to enable Google Analytics. We're going to want to see if there's any website traffic. Then from there, you just select your account that you're using for this project. So I'm going to create the project. This can take a few minutes. If you get a failure or anything like that, literally just refresh the browser and then go back and click create again. Sometimes it can be a little bit buggy. Now this whole hosting process, we're going to want to have it on Firebase because it'll be like our backend. It's like the equivalent of uploading a Word doc up to Google Drive. You're putting it up in the cloud. So after you have completed that, you're going to want to get set up by starting a web application. And I keep things simple by just naming it whatever I just named my project before. So test project 2 for the app nickname. And then don't set up the hosting right now. So just click next. And then it's going to be a little bit different for me, but you're going to want to make sure that you have Firebase installed. So in the guide that we have at the end, we'll tell you what the command is to do that, which is essentially just opening up all the tools that you can integrate into your website, like Google Analytics, hosting, and so on. So click continue. Then we're going to head over to the terminal. And terminal is literally just like Finder, but like before there was any sort of UI or anything like that, so don't get freaked out. So I have them side by side just to show you like what it looks like. The old versus the new, old being on the right, kind of scary looking. But the only way that you're going to be able to navigate this is by literally telling the computer what to do. So we have our project downloaded in downloads. And what we're going to want to do is use a few different commands that you're always going to end up using in terminal. So we want to know like where we currently are and how to get to like the solid folder within the download section on Finder. So again, same exact thing, what you see on the right and left, right, you just have to do manual. I just use PWD because that just shows like what path you're at right now. So like I'm within Thaddeus Lorenz, and then we want to go to downloads. So we'll do cd downloads / or no slash. You can see PWD again is just saying like where we are. So now we're in the downloads folder. Then remember to click enter. Do cd solid, which is our project name that we downloaded. And then ls, which just lists all the contents within it. So you can see on the left hand side it's dist, src, index.html, everything within that hierarchy of the solid folder. So again, nothing to be freaked out about, but left hand side is just the most like modern day version of what you see on the right hand side. And we're going to need to use this so that we can upload it to Firebase, and that's like where essentially like there will be all the files will be hosted. It's almost like uploading a Word document to the cloud. What we're going to want to do next is set up hosting. So go over to hosting within Firebase and then click get started. So yeah, this is going to look a little bit different for me as I'm doing this, so don't hesitate to reach out if you get something different. But you want to do is npm install -g firebase -tools, and that'll just update like all of the like the Firebase, I guess, components or tools for the project itself. So it might just take a little bit. Looks a little bit scary, but yeah, you should see like everything up to date or success. Ignore that box and just click next. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to do Firebase login. So it's literally just logging into your Firebase account. Again, it's going to look a little bit different for me because I'm already signed in. But just make sure to follow the prompts on the right hand side in the terminal. Then what we're going to do is we're going to want to actually just install Firebase into our project, access those tools. So we do Firebase init. Now, if you don't get that, then it's probably because you need to install Firebase. So just search up how to be how to install Firebase. Now, what we're going to want to do is we want to create a folder called public. So we want everything within public to be uploaded essentially to the cloud or hosted. So drag and drop all those files into public. And you'll see why in just a second. All right. And then we want to upload those files. So we want to host them. So use the arrow keys on your keyboard and go down to hosting and then click the space bar. Don't click enter. Click the space bar to highlight it. Then click enter. Then use an existing project. Now you should be able to see mine is test project 2 or whatever you called your project. I'm going to scroll down to test project 2. Then we want to click enter. So see how it says public in the gray right there? It's saying, do you want all the files to be uploaded within public? So we want to say yes by clicking enter. Then single page app, rewrite all URLs to index.html, click Y, and then click enter. Then no or N, then click enter. Then do not overwrite, so type in N and then enter again. So Firebase should be installed. Now we want to push all of our changes to the cloud, so just do Firebase deploy. So that's going to be like one of the most common commands that you use. It's essentially saying everything that I have within that public folder, we want to update onto the cloud, which would then update your website for everybody else to see via this link. So you can see the hosting URL, you can copy and paste that into your browser, and now that should be accessible by everybody else. It's essentially a free link. So in the next tutorial, I'll go over how you can attach your own unique domain or URL. And then after that, we'll go over how you can actually customize your website and so on. And yeah, if you're interested, just make sure to check us out. Join our private community on Notion. We have everything from guides on how to build MVPs for non-technical founders to just being able to understand what goes into building an MVP, all the tools that are necessary for building an MVP, and so on. So check it out below.